Hi there and welcome to another episode of the 33 vlog. My name's Warren Poll. I'm one of the co-founders here at 33 Shake, and I am super excited about this show today because it is a momentous moment in 33 history. Today we have a guest on the show for the first time. A proper interview. We're really diving deep into some stuff, and what a guest to kick things off with. If we can keep the bar even half as high as it is about to be set in the interview that's coming up, then we will be absolutely overachieving. Because the guest you're about to hear from is Fred Morini. Fred is a former professional cyclist who I first met many years ago now through connections with Bianchi Bicycles. Anyway, Fred is an inspirational guy in many ways. If you just met him for the first time, very charismatic, very warm, wonderful guy. But the more you get to know Fred, his backstory is incredible. And I do not want to spoil what's coming up, so I'm not going to tell you the whole thing at all. But I will tell you this. There he was, a professional cyclist. He'd done his first year as a pro. This was his dream of his entire life, to become a professional cyclist. There he was. He'd done his first year. He'd earned his spurs, and he'd also earned himself a 4-year contract. So he's now signed for another 4 years. He's got the platform he needs to achieve everything he ever thinks he's capable of. He's got the right team around him. He's on the world stage. He's a professional cyclist. But the day after signing that contract, Fred goes for a training ride. During that training ride, he has a very innocuous crash. Could happen to anyone. Just a pothole in the road. Goes off the road, falls down a ravine. Not a great place for it to happen. Can't feel anything from the chest down. He's paralysed. Not only is he paralysed, he's paralysed in the middle of nowhere, halfway down a ravine, invisible from the roadside, with no one knowing where he is. So that's where this story is going to start. What happens next, and what goes on to happen over the coming years, you won't believe it, but this is all true. This is Fred's life he's sharing with us here. And all I'm going to say is it is jaw-dropping, it is humbling, it is an incredible testament to the power of the human body, the human mind, and the human spirit when properly focused on what they really want. So I'm going to shut up now, and let's get over to this incredible conversation with none other than Fred Morini. In the beginning, you're a professional cyclist.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how that was going and when that was. You were on the cusp of a professional career.
Professional cycling, that was the dream in my pocket, you know. Yeah. Every boy starting cycling, dream to be a professional cyclist one day. In around 1998, I was on the way to sign for an Italian team, the same of Pantani's team, Marco Pantani, I mean. But
La Pirata.
Yeah, il Pirata. Yeah,
il Pirata.
But too many good Italian young boys on the way to become professional, and typical Italian talks. The day of the sign didn't come, and so I had to wait 1 more year. And but then the year after, I got the chance to sign for a German team, Team Gerolstein. That was probably the best day of my life because...
How old were you at the time?
I was about 24 years old.
Okay, so you're 24, first pro contract, and just to give a bit of context to the team, what sort of races would this now have allowed you to, or would have given you the opportunity to compete in?
Yeah, so the team was on the way to become a very good team after just a few months, because they had a plan, typical Germans. They had a plan on the table. They said, so we'll come to the team from now to the future, and we do expect to stay in cycling, actually in professional cycling, for the next 15 years, almost that. And they said, you will be proud of the choice, and the team will be very good. And I really can say that since the beginning I got the chance to race the most important race. When I remember about the Spring Classics, that was the real dream of my young life. And so I still remember the first time at the Tour of Flanders. It was shocking because 24, almost 25 years old at the start of the big Spring Classics. That was very emotional.
And how, well, I mean, how, can you give people an insight into just how hard one of those races is? Because a lot of cyclists have had a go at some bit of cobbles or a long day or whatever it is, or maybe even some stuff in a big group, but the intensity there looks different.
I can tell you all the races are very tough because the speed, because just the best riders in the world in the same bunch. So that means you need to be prepared anytime you go to the start, because otherwise you get in trouble since the beginning of the race. But what about the Spring Classic? I can tell you that you need to be very strong up here too, because Spring Classics is a combination of cobbles and big tension and a speed, small roads,
one day,
windy, so that means one day you can see almost all the life in a 6-7 hours race.
And in terms of the mental strength, because that's a big theme that I think we're going to come back to, just in terms of using mental strength for something like one of those big races where you have so many things that could happen, the pressure is so high, the speed is so high, what do you think are the most useful mental strengths to bring with you for a race like that you felt you needed?
Suffer in silence and think about the finish. That's it, very simple. Just stay in the bunch. When you feel tired, don't think too much. You just keep going, put your head down and suffer in silence. And this is the same I did later in my life when we talk about what is happening to me.
Okay. Well, let's move to that, because I mean we could do. Here we are in your clinic, surrounded by cycling memorabilia from some of the greatest riders in the world, and even tucked behind the door, there's you, and there's another shot of you up there. Where's it gone? Third in the Tour of Austria, 2001. Things are moving, right, at that point. Now, when was it that story changed pretty dramatically for you?
That was the 10th December of 2001. I was in the first training session of the new season, preparing myself for the 2002. That was the second year in professional.
So this was Gerolstein. This is the second year with them. You're getting ready for the second season. This is off season, literally what? Two weeks before Christmas.
Just before Christmas, because the nice story of myself was I was in Australia after Sun Tour. I flew down in October to race the last race of the season, and straight after the race I decided to remain in Australia for big vacation. The bike was with me, the suitcase was with me, and I said I could stay about two years. I had connections with other professional riders from Australia, and so you can stay in my place. So I just moved from place to place.
Bike in one hand, bag in the other.
And suitcase. Power meter, bars in pockets, and that's it. I still remember before the end of November, I got a call from the team manager of Team Gerolstein, Mr. Holzer, and he said, we have some rumors, some big teams is interested about you, maybe you will move from here. I said, no, I stay very comfortable in the team, and I believe, what about the plans of the team? I know more Italians coming soon, like Davide Rebellin, so I don't see any reason to leave the team and go for looking about another team. And he said, okay, we believe you, but it's better if you fly back from Australia, you come to Germany and you sign extension of the contract. The next day I got a ticket from Melbourne to Frankfurt, and I was there to sign a 4 more years contract. So the life was on the way to change pretty well at the time. I was in airport in Frankfurt. I said, what do? I go back to Australia, or I just go down to Italy to show the contract to my family?
So you've literally just signed, this is a 4-year extension, they're locking you in, they know they want you, and you've got a full pro career, 4 years ahead, train race, that's going to be your life.
Yes. Very simple for a cyclist, but not simple.
Not simple to make happen, and the dream of so many, and very few that even reach that stage.
Yeah. So I got a choice to fly down to Florence, and I rented a car, and I drove from Florence to my place here in Città di Castello, and I was next to the door with my family, just knocking the door and said, hello, this is Freddy, and this is another contract. Big show and big party the same night. Only 11 days later, the big tragedy. because I was around the valley here. That was the day one of the new season, training hard after 5 hours, coming down from a little hill. I lost the bike control because of a big hole in the road, and I flew about 30 meters off the road.
So you're going downhill,
Yes.
you've left the road, it's one of, if we would imagine like a hairpin or something, and
Yes.
the ground drops away
in a
on
left
the
arm.
other side, you're now flying.
Yes.
Okay.
The bike came with me. Nobody saw me flying down, and nobody could stop on the road to see where I was.
There's no, it's like you were there, now you vanished, there's no one around, no one's
No.
seen this happen, but how many cyclists have a funny story, that time I fell off my bike or this happened? Your story went a little differently.
Yes, because I lost sensitivity from ear to my feet immediately.
So just for those who don't have the video here, you've just pointed to your sternum, center of
Yes.
your chest. So you've crashed, you're off the road, you're out of sight, you've got no feeling from your chest,
Yes, to the feet.
chest down.
Yes.
Arms moving?
Not really well.
And you're just what? I mean, can anyone see you? Well, tell me what. I'm not going to ask you. Tell me. Tell me what happened next.
Yeah, I was happy
got
because
1,000 things in my mind.
I in the morning before to leave my place, I said, "What about the phone?" At the time, the phone was not very useful. Okay, it was something new for everybody. Let's say, I said, "Okay." I picked the phone because a teammate of mine, Davide Rebellin, was in Italy too, and he said, "We have to decide when we go back to France," because at the time was based in Nice. Okay. And I said, "Okay, I have my phone in the pocket. Call me anytime you want," and we arranged the day we meet in Nice. I was very lucky because the mobile phone was in my pocket. And about 2 hours later, I found a way to pick up the phone from the back pocket, and I gave a call to the police station.
So this is 2 hours from the accident. It took you that long to get the phone out of your back pocket
Yes.
because you couldn't move.
No,
What's going through your mind at a time like that?
it will be scary.
But the fear that's going to be or that someone not in that situation, imagine if I was in that situation, I'd be terrified. You're a strong character. Do you have, is there something in your brain saying, I can't be terrified yet, I just need to get out of this?
Yes,
Because if you let yourself go to the fear, you're not even going to get out of that. You're going to be there for days.
you're right. So I was on the way to find a problem-solving solution.
Okay, so next step,
Yeah,
find the phone.
find the phone.
2 hours to get the phone.
Yeah, almost 2 hours, and the day was getting dark because December, winter time.
Anyone driving past? You hear anyone?
Nobody saw me, nobody heard me, nobody could stop to see what about a bicycle, what about a cyclist. I was off-road, about 30-35 meters off-road next to the high road. Helicopter came 3 hours later.
And
Just to pick me up.
They took you out by helicopter.
Yes, and they transferred me to the hospital, and the first medical report was probably the boy will be paralyzed.
So this
Around
is
10 p.m. in night.
we in the space of 11 days we've gone from the beginning of
Yes.
a very good professional cycling career, a 4-year contract. You've already got 3rd place there.
Yes.
In the Tour of Austria, all these things happening, to helicoptered off the hill, no feeling from your chest down, first verdict, probably paralysed.
Yes. Your life too. In 11 days.
That's a hell of a change.
It's funny because this is a real example that life can change quickly sometime. And what you need, and I need to say thanks to the sport, keep suffering in silence. Don't think too much, just be ready to find a solution of the problem. That's it.
And so when you you're in a spring classic or something, solution to the problem, I want to stop, I'm going to keep going, I have a goal, suffer in silence, keep it inside, don't let anyone see, and go. But this is a very different challenge.
It is.
Talk me through what happens in the next 24 hours to the next week.
Yeah, for the first 7 days, I was here in Città di Castello Hospital, and then it was a little bit too complicated for them, let's say, and plus the team started to call the hospital to get more reports. was a little bit difficult to manage by the people at the hospital, and they said, okay, we need to find to transfer you. Actually, we need to transfer you to another bigger clinic, and that was in Perugia, about 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers south of here. And said the hospital is a little bit bigger, probably doctors can follow you better, people from Germany and maybe your team doctor can come down. And in fact, 3 days later, somebody from the team came down, I still remember that, and they said, okay, we just need to know what about the situation now, how we can manage this, if you can get a surgery or no surgery, what about the back problems, what about the sensitivity, what about paraplegic situation, temporarily or forever. And then they said, okay, we keep monitoring for about 10 days, and after this we update you about the situation. I still remember almost 2 weeks later they said, okay, the situation is not improving very well. Maybe we need to transfer him to another hospital. And about, let's say from December 10, if I remember well, that was end of January, they transferred me up to Germany in a clinic based in Frankfurt.
So on the one hand, good that you're getting increasing levels of expertise in your treatment.
Yes.
Bad that you need increasing levels each time. It's serious, it's more serious, it's more serious. What's going through your mind? I mean, I can't even begin to imagine, and I bet 3 months before you couldn't even begin to imagine, but now this, I mean, I think a lot of people, whether it's cyclists, motorcyclists, it's a very common fear.
Yeah.
That, well, dead is one thing, you don't want that to happen, but that could be an accident, but paralyzed is another.
It's completely different than the worst you can expect.
Yeah.
Because when you're there, you always hope something is gonna change soon, but day by day, big improves. And so I was on the way to share my mind by 50-50. What I mean is 50% of myself was very confident and positive, 50% of myself was a little bit too negative.
And interesting you say too negative, because naturally I think a lot of people would find themselves on a 50-50 positive negative split in terms of their mental state and how it goes. So where do you think yours would have been normally in terms of 80% positive, 20% negative? You've
Probably
obviously,
yes. Probably.
So at this 50-50, you're noticing a big difference in you.
Yes.
What do you feel like you need to do something about that, or is it almost like the negative side is just calling so strongly because you're being shown every day? It's not like every day you're jumping out of the bed and walking, or you can feel more.
For the first 3 months I was, as I said before, 50-50.
Yeah.
Too negative and a little bit positive, the other 50%. Do you know what happened to me around the spring period or early summer? Was watching races on television.
Spring Classics start again.
Spring Classics and Giro d'Italia. Probably I'm stupid and people think you're stupid because you're almost paralyzed. You was happy because of races on television. No, I just can tell you, watching races on television were inspiring me. I said, that's my world and I have to do as much as I can to go back there. That's what I wished, and actually what I wanted for many years. What's the reason to give up now? And from there I started to call doctors around all the world, in US, in UK, in Switzerland, and I thought about, okay, accident like this sometimes happens to ski racers, and I said, why don't call a very expert ski doctor? And I got in touch with a doctor in Switzerland, and he said, okay, if you get a chance to come down here, we can talk and I can check you, I can visit you. I said, I'm sorry, I am in Germany and no way. My brother drove up to Switzerland and he met him and he said, this is the situation, papers and pictures, tell me what you can do. He said, okay, what I can do is we drive together up to Frankfurt and I come to check him. Probably that was one of the best ideas I had. He came and he said, what I think is maybe you can change the situation. I cannot tell you how much you will improve, but I can tell you a different medical approach on these days is helping people with this kind of problems using like robots systems. Try to let you stand up, try to walk with assistance and electrical equipment. And this is what I did. For about 6 months I was in a clinic working on a Locomat robot.
Right.
Yeah.
So literally the robot is basically doing the walking for
Yes.
you, but you are upright
Up.
and your limbs are moving.
Yeah.
Do you have any sensation yet?
No.
Chest down? Nothing.
Nothing good.
Arms, hands?
They just blocked me up on the machine, and I was there 2 hours in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. He said, we need to keep your circulation, your blood circulation, and your nervous central system active as much as we can, because probably we can re-stimulate him. Together with medical equipment, maybe we can find a solution. And this is what happened.
Now, what do you think were the chances of a recovery at that stage? What chances were they giving you, and what sort of future did they think?
30%.
30?
Only 30%. And he said, maybe you will walk again, but we are not very confident about sport.
And what are you thinking your future is?
Cycling. Actually sport.
Why are you drawn to that so much? What does that mean to you?
I wanted cycling. I just wanted cycling. And I was able to do anything in my life just to go back to cycling. That's it. I didn't say much to anybody, but inside myself the daily thought was cycling again. Cycling again.
Did you ever use, I mean, you said you were watching races, but did you ever consciously or even unconsciously do any visualization where you picture yourself?
Yes, I did. Because it was a little bit difficult to get sleep at night, many hours awake. Sometime I was there, I said, okay, I just try to optimize the time, and I just start dreaming my next day on the bike and in racing again.
And so
hours and hours every day at night.
So there you are, you're seeing yourself there for something.
Having vision.
Yeah. So it has to happen in your mind before it can happen in real life.
Yeah.
But it's different. If we think, let's have dinner, then we find ourselves at a restaurant. Well, we had the thought, now we're at the restaurant. That's a pretty simple connection. But that's easy. You're visualizing something, effectively you're being told you probably will never do again, let alone walk.
Yeah.
How do you keep the faith that you can get there, and how do you avoid the negative thoughts telling you, come on, just being able to walk would be a bonus?
I don't know how this is happened at the time, but I can tell you, I was checking my nutrition in the clinic, which is crazy for somebody to say, oh my God. But I said, okay, I cannot activate myself pretty much. I cannot get fat, because when they will tell me you can go again, I just need to be skinny.
Yeah.
You know, because a rider is always skinny.
Yeah.
And I try to check my dietary system. I just try to move arms and just try to exercise all the time. And I got that period of my life like a training period, you know. I said, I just converted my mind. I really don't know how that is happened, to be honest with you. But I just try to use every single moment of the day like in training situation, you know. And I was dreaming about a bike. A new bike is waiting for me at home. The company of shoes made new shoes for me. I have a new helmet. I can see that on television, so that's the kind of helmet I like. And I see all the best young riders are competing for be famous, and I would like to be there too. So I just try to think about cycling too. I didn't talk to the other passions, which was not really gentle on some way, but very important to me, because I said I will not be paralyzed for the rest of my life. I just here to fix the problem, and one day I will open the door, I will leave the clinic. That was my daily thing.
So you're shutting out the contact with the world you're in.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
but as well as the work and the physical work they're having you do and anything else they're doing in the hospital and the clinic for your recovery, you're using every spare minute. Okay, I can't be in the robot harness stuff now, but I can lift this weight.
Yes.
I can't lift this weight, but I can imagine I'm cycling. I can't imagine I'm cycling, but I can consider what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Everything to that goal. Every little piece. And, well, give us the reveal. Where does this go to, Fred? Where does this story go to?
Go back to the the best day, or the second best day of my life, the day I left the clinic.
Do you know the days?
Yeah, that was the end of November.
Wow, so that is...
Almost 1 year.
Call it 1 year.
Almost 1 year later.
About the time you were considering, 1 year previously, you were just on your way home to sign your contract. Now you're walking out of the hospital or being taken?
I was sharing the daily life, let's say 3 or 4 hours on the wheelchair, because no power on my legs and very difficult to move myself, and the rest of the life trying to walk around with support, you know, and how you call legs?
Crutches.
Yes, crutches. And then cyclist at home, trying to pedal as much as I could. That was my day.
How was it when you got back on the bike?
Very emotional.
Just a cyclist here?
Yes, just a cyclist.
So that's a static bike?
Yes. Yeah. I went back on the bike about January next year.
Okay, so we
not very good about walks, but not so bad pedaling the bike.
So November you come out of the clinic, which
Yes.
is 1 year after the accident, and by January
Yes.
the next year,
I
so
was
like
on the
3
bike
months
again.
later.
Yes.
How was that first time on the bike? Was it joyous, or was
Fantastic.
there? It was.
No, fantastic.
Was there no
kilometers.
feeling of this is so hard or I'm so tired?
No.
Or
Only 15 kilometers. That was the day one on the bike, but very, very special to me. Very special. And I can tell you that I went back to the climb where I fell down.
on the first
Back
ride?
home. Yes.
And how was that going back to the point where it happened on a bike?
I don't know, but I just said, okay, everything is happened here. I just ride back there, I just go to see the place, and then I complete the day.
The loop.
Yes, the loop.
So now you're back on a bike.
Yes.
And what did the doctors make of this? What did they think? I mean, what did they think of your recovery?
Most of the doctors I met during the period, very negative about my decision to go back on the bike. Only a few Germans, one Italian, and the doctor from Switzerland tried to push me. Say, you have to try. Maybe your back is not good, maybe your legs are not good, but we cannot say that now. We have to see you on the bike. You have to try, and they tried to support me. And they didn't stop me. That was the most important thing. They tried to encourage me, which was very, very important for a boy who wanted to be a cyclist again. That's it.
And how old were you at this point? Remind me. Your age? How old?
26. 26 years old.
Wow.
Still young.
Very young.
Yeah.
And so the doctors who said you couldn't, did you take their opinion, or did you really ignore them and find the ones who said maybe, or find the ones who supported you and concentrate on them?
I thought about the doctors who positive. That's it. I didn't want to talk to the others, and I said, you don't understand. I don't know why you want to stop me. I feel my legs a bit now. I see I am improving day by day, week by week. So what's the reason to stop me now, instead to support me and try to let me test? Okay, one big day on the bike, and then, okay, what about now? They wasn't so open, which was very terrible to me, and I decided I don't call them anymore. If I need something, I just want to talk with the positive doctors. That's it. Because I think this is probably just my opinion, not really important to say, but maybe there was an occasion for them to understand such a strange situation and see if people can improve from situations like that, or no way. It's like a research, you know?
Yeah.
I say, I give you my body and I study what you want, but just try to support me and not stop me. That was my claim. The only claim was that. And in fact, somebody said, we can try, because maybe you will make it, maybe not, but what's the reason to stay at home and say stop forever before to test yourself again? And in fact, I started training around February, and in April I was back in racing in France. Still not working pretty well, and I still remember when all the other riders saw me at the start sign, you know,
where you
in
go
every race
sign
you have
at
to
the
sign
start,
before
right?
the start. They saw me working, let's say, almost well, but not really well. I said, oh my God, you are crazy in some way, but you are inspirational too, because we like to see you again. I still remember Laurent Jalabert from CSC. He came to me and said, I came to know about your story, boy. He was over than 30 years old, about 34, 35 years old. He said, you're doing well. Congratulations, and you have to do it, and keep going, never stop. So that was very important to me. I still remember also Franco Ballerini at the time, you know, and Johan Museo, he came to me too, and Paolo Bettini, and everybody tried to.
So literally, you've got some of the greatest riders of that generation.
Yes.
Know your story, come to you, and say, yeah, you're inspiring them.
Yeah, I think the story was pretty well known by everyone.
It's a small community, right?
Yeah, it's a small
and
community.
Everyone's aware that it could be them. It's very unlikely.
Yeah, because I still remember a few days after the accident, I also remember Eurosport was celebrating something about cycling. I was in a clinic and my brother was next to me, and the Eurosport journalist and the cycling commentator were talking about my story. So probably just because the community is small. It's not like soccer, not like Formula One. It's just a small community in a big world, but very small numbers.
A tight family. But you've got these guys who presumably have been great role models and heroes, saying they're inspired. You've got other riders saying that. You're not able yet to walk fully properly. It's coming back. Are you still walking with the crutches when you're at sign? Okay, one crutch at sign. But that would, I mean, we see it in motorcycle racing.
Yes.
Guys on the crutches getting back on the bike.
Yeah, and they win.
I get it. But they're not the engine.
Yes.
Yeah. You're the engine, and it's the legs that are the engine as well as everything else. How do you feel your cycling performance? So, I mean, okay, so walking, if you've got, say, 70%, what do you think you had on the bike? Because, I mean, this is not, let's go for a ride with some friends on Sunday.
No.
Or let's go for a ride, these guys are a bit quick.
champions.
This is like, let's go and ride with the world's best.
Yes.
So how much do you...
I wasn't so bad. I was good in one-day race. I still remember also the first race was a tragedy in some way, because pretty tough due to the small training I had in my legs. But not too bad, because I made it and I finished the race too in the last part of the bunch, because probably the bunch split in a few pieces, and I was probably in the last. I don't remember exactly what, but I was happy. However, I was so happy. The only problem for me was stage races. After 2 or 3 days in a row, I started to feel some pain in my arms, because since the day the sensitivity in my body is still not so perfect. Right. Let's say I'm good on my hands now, but at the time not really good. I got like
pins and needles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every 10-15 minutes I had to move and to shake my hands.
And you didn't have that before, so it wasn't just bike set up, or
the
body has changed.
Yes. The body changed. The body changed pretty much.
But you're still racing.
Yes. For 1 more year. And then I decided to give up.
Because you couldn't do what you quite could. I mean, you're still racing, but tell me, why was it you decided to stop?
I was good in stage races too, because of my characteristics, but that was almost impossible to me to race a 3 weeks race and a 2 weeks race only for 1 day race. I wasn't such a big champion to say to my team managers, I am here only for one day race. Not possible. So in one way, I mean, in your life, you also need to find a compromise. And the best compromise probably at the time was that. And I was prepared to stop my career. I was happy what I did from the day at the hospital till the last race of my life. Because it showed to me to be able to do more than most of people said to me when I was in clinic. So maybe you walk again, but not cyclist.
To go from it's unlikely you walk again is the initial prognosis, yes. Then a slight improvement, yes. You may get some sensation and activity back, you'll never ride again. A couple of people believe your crazy vision,
yes,
that you never let go of.
Yes,
I'm going to get back on a bike, I'm going to race again. So that's a quick decision for a lot of people whose life is focused on being exceptional at one thing, and for you that's cycling. 1 year to be able to make the clean break,
yes,
that is very quick. And then, well, how do you make the break? How do you decide what's next? And did you manage to disconnect from cycling? Because for many people that could be the story of the rest of their life. I was a professional cyclist. I could have been. It was taken from me in this accident. My life was changed forever.
Yeah.
It could be a negative for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
You built something very different.
The positive thing was there to talk to the team managers about 3 months. He said, what about you? What do you feel? Do you think to be able to go ahead? And say, I would like to try, but to be honest with you, I feel not so comfortable in one way, and probably the communication was the best that could happen at the time. And he understood I was very in love of cycling. And one day, I still remember we were in France for just a week or 2 weeks before the Tour de France at the time. I said, okay Fred, I understand you love it. And if you're happy with what I am gonna say to you now is, everybody in the team is happy to have you in the team. And I'm ready to make you a proposal. The proposal is, the day you will decide to stop career, the next day you can be one of the management members of the team. So they understood what about my love for cycling, and I was on the way to say probably it's the time to stop, but my big afraid was that too, okay, and if I stop, what about me in cycling? The team anticipated me and said, the day you will stop, there is a place for you in the team. And that was very good to me.
So that lets you
work for the team.
You continue with that. I mean, how was it to, because there's a difference in any sport between the active player or the active rider or the active athlete and the management and the structure, and it's two sides of the coin. It's the same environment,
no,
but it's very different. How did you manage the transition?
Was a little bit tough. Because be on the other side of the river, I say, is completely different than be a cyclist. Different lifestyle, different way to comment and to understand situations and to manage situations. When you're a cyclist, everybody's working for you. Everybody's around you to do what you don't need to do. And let's say 90% of things is your life. You just need to have a good nutrition, train hard, and race. That's it. And you don't know anything about the rest of things normal people, standard people do in life. That was a little bit complicated in the beginning. Let's say for the first 5-6 months was completely different. When I say the same to my friends here in Italy, I say, at the time I could not understand what going to the post office to pay a ticket meant, because I never went there. There was somebody doing that for me. I never went to buy a piece of bread because every morning I woke up, I walk it down from the fresh floor to the dining place. Everything was already on the table. I didn't know that. So
No cooking,
no,
cleaning.
nothing.
So
Very easy life.
Fred's rude introduction to the real world, basically.
Yes.
You get the real world in one go, plus the career change in one go, plus, let's face it, you've just come out of it has been a life-changing injury, but not in the way paralysis is traditionally seen.
Yeah.
Thank heavens for that. But as this, we come into another chapter now, right?
Oh yeah.
We got another chapter of the story, because if anyone thought that at this point, wow, that's incredible, we've really only just begun. Because we come into, you tell me if it's different, your transition into the real world then continues. You're looking after riders,
Yeah.
you then start a long-term partnership with Bianchi, you start working with them. That's how we first met, because you were working on the media side then. I had no idea any of this was behind that, and so there's a transition period there. You're still in cycling. How is your life as it's going through that? How are you feeling about things? How are you developing in that period?
Probably the time we met was good, because I adapted myself to the standard life. That was easy, and I was still happy because in cycling, okay, no more a cyclist, but working for cycling was good, however. And we met in one company event, and
Infinito CV.
yeah, you
How do
still
you
remember that? Good memory.
I still remember that we were riding some cobbles and stuff, and you were just, if the rest of us were at 70, 80, 90, maybe a little bit more %, you were just casually at about 20, and then you sort of drop back and get some stuff, and then you just sort of appear, and then you go ahead, and then you come back. You clearly were still keeping it up on the bike.
Don't forget I used to be a cyclist.
Yeah, but you were obviously keeping that going.
Yeah.
Was there any risk with your cycling? Cyclists crash quite a lot. I mean, particularly in racing. Okay, you're not in that anymore, but it could happen. A dog runs out, there's gravel on the street, there's another pothole. Is your injury risk in that period greater than someone else's if you had an accident, or are you back to normal?
Back to normal.
But in the back of your mind, you ever think about it?
No. Never.
That's great. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm trying to think, did that thought ever tempt you? Like, well, maybe I should be careful now? Did it ever start coming into your mind that maybe I should not cycle so much? Or
I never thought about that. Never thought about that after the accident.
That's amazing.
Probably because of my characteristics, as we said before. I always try to look ahead, and I never stop to look what about the back.
Yeah.
That's it. If you want to improve your life, okay, you have experience about what has happened before, but don't stop to think about the past too much. Otherwise you lose time to do good things in the future.
Yeah.
And actually now.
Yeah, well that's...
This is probably thanks to my family, thanks to sport. I really don't know where's the
Yeah.
But this is what people should do. Think about what you can do now and tomorrow, not what about yesterday.
Because it's too easy to get caught in that, and it would be completely natural in your situation to have thought about that. I'm not surprised you don't, but I'm trying to... It's often you find with athletes as well, they almost can't tell you how they do what they do because they don't consider doing things any other way.
Yeah.
What you've done by blocking out or not even considering the accident as a factor is something that most people would find hard to do. They would like to do.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
You managed to do it to an extreme degree. So I'm just trying to get down to how you did that. But a lot of it's inside you. Where do you think the drive for it comes from?
Don't know. Don't let me say about this. It's just maybe I'm strange, but yes, no maybe.
Unique for sure. But so things are going. You're in cycling.
Yeah.
You've got a great job with Bianchi. Beautiful family. Traveling all over the world. Still cycling.
Everything was easy again.
Everything's easy again. And then there's another chapter.
Oh, a big chapter.
And what was the date of this chapter? I know roughly the location. I don't know the date.
Yeah, 30 December 2015.
Just after Christmas again. What is it about you and Christmas?
No, December, sorry, July. Sorry,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah,
right.
December is a nightmare, maybe.
Okay, so we're in the summer this time, 30th of July, 2015.
Yes.
Very recent. And you're in the office.
I flew back from France the day before because Tour de France finished.
Okay.
Bianchi was a supporter of a professional team at the time, and 29th of July, my birthday. The CEO of Bianchi at the time said, "We stay in France one more day to celebrate your birthday. We stay here, we fly back in night." I said, "Oh, that's good, great, thank you very much." Blah blah blah. We flew back from Paris the 29th evening. We arrived in Bergamo, and they said, "Okay, it's almost summer vacation."
Yeah.
Normally the company is gonna close early in August at the time, and they said, "Okay, if you want to go back home a few days early," I said, "But no, I want to stay in the company because I still have something to prepare for the exhibition end of August, like Eurobike, plus just to fix something with the team after the Tour de France." I gave a call to my wife. I was up in Bergamo, my wife here in Città di Castello, and I said, I'm sure you don't mind if I stay up here for 2 or 3 more days and then I fly back home. Because Friday we go to the sea, we stay there 2 or 3 weeks. So if I come back too late, you don't mind. I said, "Okay, you stay up there." 30th of July in the morning, 8:30.
Day after your birthday.
Yes. I drove down to the company from the place I used to base at the time to the company, and I went to my office. I checked, and I spoke with a few colleagues. I still remember that, and then I went to my desk, and exactly the time I tried to sit down on my chair, the chair like explosion, broken chair. I fell down. I hit my head, paralyzed again. Lovely story. I still remember, sorry if I interrupt you, I still remember a couple of colleagues of mine came straight to me, like running, and said, "Don't do it, you're like stupid, don't do that, don't show us what you fed in 2001. You don't need to show I'm paralyzed, stop to do stupid things." I said, "Guys, I don't feel my legs again." This was the first reaction from my colleagues.
And they think you're clear. They think
Like
you're laughing, you're joking, you know, I'm sure you do, you're a funny guy. But at this point...
Guys, look at the chair. It's broken. Somewhere it's broken because as soon as I touched the chair, one wheel came off and the chair went to the back, and I followed the chair and I went.
So you just went over the back of the chair, land on your head.
Yeah.
And what, chest down? You can't...
Again, chest down.
You could, I mean, literally you could not write this. You could not make this up. But how do you deal with this? What goes through your mind now? I mean,
pretty tough. 15 days in the neurological department up in Bergamo Hospital. And after that, 4 months in a spinal clinic in the center of Italy. And after that, 4 more months in a private clinic working with robots again.
Now, you have one advantage, you've been through this before.
Yeah.
But what's their prognosis? You know, when the doctors are looking at the injury, they know the history, they're looking at what's happened, you're in the hospital. What do they say is likely this time around?
In Bergamo and in the spinal clinic, everyone thought about a connection with the past accident, with the first accident. They said probably there is a problem in your medulla, probably due to the first accidents you had. This is the situation today.
So they're saying that because the head has been hit, the brain has just switched everything off.
Yeah. Everyone said the same. The only doctor said, I'm not really convinced about this. I don't see any connection because in 2001 I had problems around the lumbar area, L1, L2, L4, L5, 3 broken. In 2015, only upper neck, C2, C3, C6 and C7. He said no connections, it's just a casualty. He came down to Italy. He came to talk to the doctors at the spinal clinic. The people at the spinal clinic stopped to talk to me because they felt like offended. You gave a call to another doctor, you don't trust us. Well, that was a little bit tough to manage. But as I said, you should be happy to have a patient who wants to improve. I didn't give a call to the doctor in Switzerland because I don't trust you. I just said, he followed me in the past. He knows a lot about me. And I would like you guys to meet him. I didn't call him to come here and do treatments and you don't know.
But they took
I
it
just
personally.
try to create a connection. That's it, in a gentle way. They took about 10 days to understand my meaning, and they said, okay, the doctor can stay here if he wants, we can talk to him, we can read papers about the past, blah, blah, blah. And probably, let's say the doctor from Switzerland, he convinced them and they tried something different in terms of medications and treatments. Something good was a little bit visible. The biggest problem at the time was no sensitivity, chest from fit, plus neurological bladder.
Neurological bladder.
Bladder, you know the bladder? Probably, just to let you understand, I could drink anything, but no way to.
Ah, got you. Okay,
Yes.
so you can drink, but you can't pee.
Yeah,
Right, understood.
so
So
I have to
literally
use
You've got to use a
catheteries.
catheter,
Yeah, catheter.
which, I mean, I suppose that's the only blessing of having no sensation down there, because that's supposed to be one of the most painful
Yes.
possible things.
Yeah, and because of that problem, doctors in Italy said this is like a data. You will not walk again because of that. When people have the kind of problem with no sensitivity from chest to feet,
Yeah.
no way to walk again. And he said, from myself, the doctor from Switzerland said, it's just something different. It's just a compression of my medulla, no broken medulla. He had
So
to
you-
work hard.
So you've got these guys who are literally, the doctors are telling you, here's the evidence,
Yes.
this is done.
Yeah.
And again, you say, okay, that's what you think, but I'm going to ask someone else.
Yeah.
And you get a better answer.
Yes.
Now, maybe you have to make 100 phone calls before you get that answer.
Oh,
but
yes.
you know a few people in that world. I'm assuming this was not the first phone call you made
No.
before. And it was a long time. If this were a movie, the guy would turn up 2 hours later
Yes.
and would go, no, you're wrong, but this is not a movie. This is real life. This plays
Yeah.
out over weeks.
Yes.
In the meantime, you're back in the clinic, staring at the ceiling, can't feel anything.
Yeah.
How's the mind this time around?
To be honest with you, a little bit more motivated than the past because 2 kids at home. Not in 2001, but yes, in 2015.
And how old are they at this stage?
They are 10 and 8 years now.
Okay, so the first time it's bike racing,
Yes.
this time it's the kids.
Yes.
Stronger than bike racing.
They came to the clinic almost every day, asking to daddy, what about your legs? Why you don't feel legs? Are you gonna walk again? When the day you can come out with us? When the day we can go bicycle together? When we can run together? I said, okay, I asked to do probably the same I did in 2001, but not for cycling, but yes, for my kids.
Wow. So, but they're asking you those questions. They've just inherited your DNA.
Yeah.
But that, again, are you doing the same things? Are you imagining that? Because on the one hand, that's heartbreaking. You've got your children saying that.
Yeah.
And you can't move and you can't feel. For some people, that could be the pressure that breaks them the other way.
Yeah.
You took that pressure and turned it into something to push you.
Yes.
How hard was that?
Very hard. Very hard and very complicated.
Can you give any idea or insight of how you did it? Because I mean, it's such a natural thing, and maybe that's just what you did because that's how you're going to do it. But do you have any ideas of how you were able to break that down and turn it into a plan of action?
I spoke to everybody in the clinic and I said I want to use my legs again. Probably I'm good in cycling, and first time I had something similar in 2001. I put a cycling as the main goal. Now I would like to work again because of kids, blah blah blah. But probably I try to use cycling to push myself again. And when I was in the clinic, I thought about a long bicycle ride from Milan to Stockholm, just for raising money for children.
Why did you pick Milan to Stockholm? Just because it's a really long way?
It's a long way, 2,500.
Given you can't get out of bed at the moment.
Yeah, because of Bianchi. I don't know if probably you know, Bianchi has Bianchi Cafe and Cycles, one in Milan and one in Stockholm.
Okay.
And said, the day I leave the clinic, I start some training to ride from Bianchi Cafe in the center of Milan, and I'm gonna drink a coffee at the next, and the next is in Stockholm.
And the distance between the two?
I rode 2,572 kilometers in 10 days time.
Now we've done a little jump there. There's a bit of a spoiler alert coming on here, because you've just told us you rode that.
Yeah.
But at the time you're having that idea, you're in a hospital with all of the doctors originally said you're not going to walk again.
Yeah.
You have one doctor who has come in and said, I think this is actually something in your brain and it's a separate injury.
Yes.
So literally these two are not connected.
Yeah, he said that.
Lightning never strikes twice. It struck you twice.
Yeah.
Two separate paralyses.
Yes.
Okay. How rare does this make you in medical history? Paralyzed twice, back on your feet twice.
Strange and lucky. Very strange, because of, I don't know if there is somebody around the world with something similar. Maybe I am the only one. I don't know. Very strange, because 2 times in life is even more than strange. But lucky, very lucky man. Very, very lucky man on the other side.
Lucky to a degree, but you have to be in the place for the luck. I mean, most people would have taken the first one as unlucky.
Yeah.
No, not most people. A lot of people. You could take the first one as unlucky. That could colour the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. You have to be in the right place to find the luck.
Yes.
And your place in that clinic is refusing the first answer, refusing the other answers, finding another answer, and having the belief that you can go somewhere.
What I understood when in the clinic, I say, if you are in trouble for something in your life, you need to be the first who believe to solve it. And probably you will find people who support you. Otherwise, you do not expect support from people if you don't motivate them to support you. Do you understand what I mean?
I do. So let's just roll back again. Before you can achieve any of these
Yes.
things, you have to support yourself.
Yes.
And believe
Yeah.
in your vision.
And they will understand. You want to change this.
You can get people to come with you.
Yeah.
If you don't drive
Yes.
that process,
Yeah.
no one's going to be a passenger. No one's going to join you. No one's going to drive for you. So one thing I remember very clearly from this, and the first time I saw it, I couldn't believe it, it was your social media. Because you were very open on social media about what was happening, about your days in there, and they were very positive messages. It took a while because your messages were so positive. I was like, is he really in hospital? Is he really paralysed? Is he really what is the prognosis?
Yeah,
There's only so much you can see on Twitter, right? But your messages were all about another day, the next step, the next this. You were celebrating the things as they went. But away from that, how is it when the lights go out at night and, where's the mind?
Not too bad. Not too bad, because I thought about the good day will come. The good day will come soon.
And the good day did come.
Yeah.
You made it come. How long was the process of rehab in this occasion, and how long did it take before you could even feel anything again?
I was in clinics for about 8 months. And I went back to my place in 8 months.
8 months in the
8
clinic.
months in the clinic. I still remember only one Saturday afternoon they gave me the chance to drive back home with the family, having dinner in my place and come back to the clinic, like in jail.
You posted that?
Yes. And I didn't recognize my house.
Really?
Yeah, you know what? Because we also needed to make some adjustments to give me a way to enter the house with a wheelchair. My parents, my brother, they organized everything to give me the chance to say, "Babe, if he comes, you need to find everything easy to use." They changed it.
So you're in the wheelchair in the house?
Yeah,
right?
I was in a wheelchair. But the main doctor at the clinic understood that I needed to go back home for 1 day only. 4 hours driving, 4 hours back, but 1 day in my place and on my bed, just to give me some rest. And then he said, "You have to come back."
And something to put in your mind.
Yes.
I go back.
Yeah.
So you're working through this process. I think we'll come to the Great Escape.
Yes.
But what would a day of work look like normally in the clinic for you at this period?
4 hours in the morning, exercising with physios, swim pool, and locomotive robots. And
The
2 hours.
robots,
Yes.
so they're going to help you stand.
Exactly.
They're going to do some movement.
I don't know if you use the same word in English. It's exoskeletal.
Exoskeleton.
Skeletal is electrical, you know,
Oh, okay.
with a backpack, and that give you the way to walk.
How
They
weird is-
fix metal legs
Yeah.
on yourself, and they give you the chance.
So you're effectively like a kind of self-guiding Robocop.
yes,
Basically.
yeah, serious. That's my name on Instagram,
Is
Fred
it?
Robocop. Because of that, a friend of mine just got a decision to say, "You are Fred Robocop."
That's where you get the Robocop.
Yeah, when he came to visit me in the clinic.
So how difficult is it to do that when formerly you're used to, well, I might go and cycle 100k today, and now I might take 10 steps.
Yeah, something similar happened in 2001.
You draw on that.
Yeah, there was another training session for me.
Same thing, nutrition.
Yeah, nutrition.
What can I do in every? Are you looking at every element? What can I do in every instance here?
Only 2 coffee per
closer to my
day.
goal.
Yeah, no pasta, just meat, no much bread. It's just very simple nutrition. And I was losing weight.
You must be.
Yeah, I was only 62 kilos, like in racing in the past.
So you're still at your racing weight.
Yeah.
And from there, the bike ride did happen, right?
Yes.
Milan, Stockholm, 3,000 kilometers. How many days?
10 days time.
10 days. And how long did it take you to get to that start line after you left the clinic?
I can tell you that I left Milan in 1 year. You understand what I mean?
As in 1 year after the accident.
30 July of 2016. I was on the bike from Milan to Stockholm.
Were you ready?
Working pretty bad, but good on the bike.
Any sticks?
Yes.
Still got crutches?
If you go to see some pictures on the internet, you will find one stick under the top tube. Because the time I needed to stop for a pee or for a coffee, I needed to use the stick.
No way. So you had one of the crutches on your bike because even a traffic light, right?
Yeah, with a tape. I put the stick down the town tube with a tape. Anytime I needed that. Maybe the car wasn't close to me because I had a motorhome and one car following me for all the way along. But okay, I am on the bike track, you know, like I said, maybe I need to stop. I need a stick. Funny.
Did you get it profiled for aerodynamics? Was it slowing? I mean, that's probably worth what, 10 watts? Just having that stick there.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe.
How much money did you raise on the ride?
40,000 euro.
How did that feel?
Good.
And how did it feel getting back to your family, going for a walk with your kids?
I was happy. Because my kids happy. They came to the startup in Milan and they were smiling all the time before I left Milan, and I was happy. And that was the biggest goal, like a gold medal in Olympic Games. probably the same feel if I can talk to somebody who won Olympic Games.
I think it could even be bigger.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe not, but was really important and good to me. Enough.
What about the doctors who said you would be paralysed for life after the second accident?
I'm not in touch with them anymore.
No interest?
No, because to be honest with you, they felt bad when I tried to push myself a little bit over the limits of the time, and they didn't keep conversation on, and I said, okay. In life, when you to be good, you need good people around you. This is probably offensive in some way, but important to say to yourself in another way. And I said, they didn't believe me. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm not saying they are stupid, but probably not good people for me. That's it.
You don't need them in your life?
No, I don't need them either.
Now, just to go on as well, the walking with the stick, that improved.
Yes, much.
That became running.
Yeah.
Had you run much before or at all?
No.
And okay, so let me get the timeline right here. The accident is July 2015.
Yes.
July 2016, 3,000 kilometer Milan Stockholm.
Yeah.
The running comes after this, right?
Yes, 2017.
And what, you just decided you needed a new challenge, or was this sort of maybe to get some, I don't know, some more blood flowing through your legs? Was it some crazy idea that just, well, I could make my legs better?
I just want to see my legs running fast. That's it. I just want to see my legs moving pretty well.
How did they feel?
Okay. Because of my neurological problem, I had the problem to evacuate, my pee, and because I had a neurological problem, every doctor said for the rest of your life you will need you will need to use catheter.
So that's because the brain
Yes.
is not communicating to the bladder.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is at the point where you're starting to run and everything again. But so is this the one legacy, or like the one thing remaining from your accident? The second accident.
Yeah, from the accident. Yes.
There's just no connection left between the brain
No.
and the bladder.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that would be a tough thing, but compared to
pretty
what
much.
could have happened. But so every time you're on the bike going Milan to Stockholm,
Yeah.
call of nature, need to stop. I mean, it's hard enough with bib shorts.
It is.
You're having to use a catheter every time on that ride. Every time you need to stop.
Yeah. Every 2 hours. That was an average time.
And everyone, again, this is starting to become a pattern. The doctors tell you, okay, but it's not. This is just something you have to live with.
Yes.
They're doctors. They know what they're talking about. But you're not going to take the first opinion.
No way.
How hard is it peeing with a catheter every 2 hours on a bike?
Painful.
Is it as painful as I think it might be?
Painful.
I don't think I can imagine how painful it is actually.
It is pretty much. You always need to put that in your pockets or your backpack everywhere you go. You depend on that.
Yeah.
You say, oh my god, I left that at home. I have to U-turn, go back home, or maybe, oh my god, I am in office and that's in my bag, in hotel or somewhere.
So you're carrying a crutch, you're carrying a catheter, you've cycled 3,000 miles Milan to Stockholm. You now think, well, best thing to do now is start running.
Yes.
Never done it before in your life. But what changed with the catheter? Because you didn't accept anyone's diagnosis,
No.
I'm guessing.
Like everyone in the world, Google doctor.
Yeah, but that's a scary place. You get the worst answers on
Yeah,
Google
but
doctor.
when you have nothing to do, you spend some time on Google. Sometimes you can get something good, And actually I did, because I found good things was the doctor was in Italy too at the time. He's an Argentinian doctor who works at the CTO. It's a hospital. It's the main hospital in Florence, and I understood he could do something for me. at the time that we are testing, we call that neurological bladder stimulation, but it's also called the pacemaker for the bladder. We organized a meeting and I went to Florence to understand what about the system. So we had a meeting in Florence and he said, let me study your situation, blah, blah, blah. I will give you an answer in 1 month from now. I need to know exactly what is happening, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, during the time you study my situation, just let me know what's the system is. He said, actually it's very simple. We need to put that in your bag. The system.
So literally they were planning to put something into your body.
Yes,
that will connect the brain.
Yes.
To the bladder.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like an easy operation. Or
no. In 6 days.
Is this common or is this experimental?
No, it was experimental at the time. Now is let's say almost common. People can ask for the system. The system is provided by the national healthcare. I talk about it in Italy or private clinic, but it's available for everybody if people want. It's an international big company, so the company is very well known in the market, and we just need to call the company, and the company can put people in touch with regional or local doctors who know the system or who use the system. And so the system is composed by 26 little cables. The big memory of the system is in the last part. It's actually in the lowest part of the back, in one side where you normally had or have no problems, like pain in the low back area. Never happened before. They would find a good muscle where to put that inside. And the surgery is composed by 6 stages.
So I'm guessing the way you're talking.
One operation per month for a total time of 6 months.
And you have this now?
Yeah, because initially they put the system inside but with external cables. Plus they connect more cables in the second stage, more cables in the third stage. And then if everything is good, after 4 stages, they put everything inside. And you keep like a testing system for 1 month. After that, they will put another system, a little bit bigger, and they will test if the system can fit your body.
And how big is the system?
It's like a credit card.
Okay, so something the size of a credit card with 27 cables on it, put into your body. In the lower back.
Yes.
And no catheter?
No more.
So, effectively, you're not just Robocop because you were walking in the frames.
But because of that.
You actually are genuinely now robotic.
Yes, I am.
And everything works normally?
Yes.
That must be...
Perfectly.
But what was that you were saying? Is there a risk that the body could reject this system?
Yeah, they told me that. Probably because of the cables, because of the electricity system provided by the pacemaker inside the blood. Actually, the body plus circulation system cannot accept the metal system. So a lot of indications can tell you that people sometimes need to reject that. I am not one of them.
You're not normal?
No.
You're not in the average?
No.
Even if you were, I'm sure you wouldn't accept it, so you'd find somewhere else to do it. So, while a lot of people would say, I don't have enough time for my marathon training, and because it was a marathon that you were looking at doing, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
New York. I made that.
And was this, had you always wanted to run New York? You hadn't been that interested in running before. Clearly you're an athlete, but where did the New York Marathon thing come from? Was this like, what's the best marathon I can do?
Probably was that big challenge.
Okay, so New York Marathon training, people might say, I didn't have enough time, I had to work too much. You had 6 surgeries over 6 months in the period while you're training.
Early in the morning.
I'll train early in the morning.
Yeah. Wake up in the morning, go for a run, and then go to work. Easy. When people sleep, you're training.
And that worked.
It was good.
And New York was not just a finish.
No.
Go on, give us the time. What was the time?
2 hours and 49 minutes.
Was that your first marathon?
First marathon in your life. At the age of 42.
Was that 2017 or 2018?
2018.
Okay.
2018.
It's a hell of a journey. How did you feel crossing that finish line?
Oh, so happy again.
You still like seeing your legs running fast?
Yeah.
Are they still doing any running fast now?
Yeah. I'm training now
What's next?
for a Berlin marathon in September.
You want to go faster, right?
Yeah. that's the marathon for the time.
Berlin's the one.
Yeah, it's flat. Pretty flat.
So Berlin in what, September?
September. Last week of September.
2019.
Yes. And then London
In April.
in April 2020.
Faster again.
No, I don't know.
Possible.
Impossible because of the track.
It's a different track. But you will have another year's experience.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm older.
I don't think you should let that stop you. Not even close.
I don't know.
We could go on for tons here because there's also the fact that the second accident opened a third chapter in your career. Professional cyclist, then working in cycling and in a professional capacity. Now you've got your own physio clinic, which is where we're doing this interview, and you're looking after an entire range of people. But there still seems to be that cycling connection because we nearly didn't get to meet today because you've just been in Roubaix with the Italian track cycling team looking after them.
Yes.
And if I remember rightly, you may have helped one of their riders
Yes.
with an issue or which he was able to overcome on the day of the race.
Yeah.
Successfully.
Gold medal.
So you still literally have your hand in cycling gold medals.
Yes. Lucky man.
Fred, I look forward to,
I should work in the stock market.
come on, maybe that's next, but just please, you don't have to have another massive accident if you want to make another change in your life. You can just do it.
Okay, I will look after myself.
Fred, I look forward to the next chapters of this, and if people want to find out more about your story or check you out, where can they find you on social media or on places like that?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that's it. Where everybody is at the moment.
And are you Fred Morini under those? And that's Morini.
Yes.
Okay, Fred Morini on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, easy to recognise.
Oh yeah.
You'll be the smiling Italian
face.
doing something crazy. Well, look, best of luck with that, and I hope that you did write a book about the first accident.
Yeah.
Maybe that could come out again one day.
Maybe in English.
Maybe an English version as well. If you know a translator, I might know someone who can help. Don't worry, it's not me.
Why not? I know you speak some Italian too.
I speak some Italian. If you want to find out where the library is or order a coffee, I'm your man.
Okay.
Okay, but if you want to write the book, no, let's get a professional.
That's the deal.
Right, grazie mille, è un grande piacere.
Thank you. Grazie.
Grazie. I can't wait to see the next chapter.
Thank you.
What a story, huh? I told you it was unbelievable. Not just paralysed once and told he would never walk again. Paralysed twice and told he would never walk again. And recovered both times. In the face of all the evidence telling him it wasn't possible. I mean, I draw so much strength from that story. Any bad day, any time you're in a hole, whether it's physical, mental work, doesn't matter what it is. Put yourself in context. Fred was lying there looking at a ceiling being told he'd never walk again. And he refused to bow to that. He kept his mind strong and look what happened. If he can do that, then we can overcome challenges in our own lives, our own training, our own racing, become stronger, better, faster athletes, because at 33, that's our mission. Making athletes faster, happier and healthier. And we do that by sharing this great content to inspire, motivate and help you take your game to the next level. And we also do it in store at 33shake.com with the very best in performance nutrition to take you further and faster. So if you want to check that out, you'll find that at 33shake.com. And if you want to connect with us any other places, then of course you'll find us on all the social channels. You can email us on contact@33shake.com. If you want to connect with Fred, just search Fred Morini. That is Fred, F-R-E-D, Morini, M-O-R-I-N-I. You'll find him on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, if you've got any comments or anything, then we would love to hear them. Drop them up on social, put them in the comments below. Thank you for being a part of this, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one.